Hello again, and welcome to another episode of Raine Plays. Today we're in a new neighborhood, Skyward Palms, and this is Granada Place. It's not a bad home, and it's in a gated community. There are only 3 homes here with that empty lot as a 4th. And the house, it was stereotypical and with the depressing EA items inside. But I decided to bulldoze anyway. I just wanted to give it my own stamp and see what happens. And to be honest, I was very pleased with the outcome. I also want to apologize now for the speed build portion. Something came up and I had to stop what I was doing, and a while went by before I came back. I thought I had pressed, play or resume or whatever, but apparently I didn't, and I did not notice that it wasn't recording until I was practically finished with what I was doing. So I am sorry for that, but you will get the after images and walkthrough. This was another home. EA gave it 2 heights on the first floor and 3 heights on the second, but I gave it 2 on the first and 1 on the second, or was it 2 and 2? I can't remember, but that's my favorite height, is the second one, and I think that makes it a little bit more difficult to take proper images. The only way it really works, well, I always get these two confused. Is it the first level or the second level that's better? Probably the first level. Also, my throat issue is back, so I do hope I don't choke. This is the 3rd recording that I've made. The first one, I'm using my new microphone. It's not exactly new. My son gave me his old one. And the first recording, there was just a lot of crackle. The second recording, I choked twice. I say choked, maybe I mean cough, but it feels like a choke because the back of my throat that just gives out and I start coughing. But it's the sinus thing again. And then now there's this one. I hope I can get through this all right. All right, those were the before images of what the house looked like inside and out. And then I just bulldoze. I don't have too much to tell you. This neighborhood has the pond, obviously right behind you there. The first neighborhood had the creek, but that second neighborhood had no way to go fishing unless you sent them somewhere. I was actually thinking when I was there to use that vacant lot to give them a place to go fishing, but I ended up building a house instead. I figured it would be a little bit more entertaining. Well, don't say entertaining. I'm not entertaining. I don't consider myself to be an entertainer. I'm more of an enthusiast or a hobby type channel. But I just didn't think that you guys would like to see me build although I have watched people do that. They take an empty lot and they put things on it instead of houses. I suppose I could do that because I've done it before for myself. I just don't know how exciting of a video I could create that way. But one of the reasons I enjoy the fishing aspect of this game is that my goal is to catch a rainbow fish. A rainbow fish and a salmon. And believe it or not, the salmon is even more difficult for me to catch than the rainbow. They tell you to go to that magic world in Willow Creek, and there's also a little pond here in Oasis Springs where you're sure to catch them. But I have seen them rainbow fish in that creek in the first neighborhood here. They're not as uncommon. How do I say this? You can see them when you're examining the water. I guess the uncommon or rare comes in trying to catch one. And I have no luck at that. So that's one of my goals, is to catch. When I do catch one, boy, I immediately put it in a fishbowl and show it off in the house. But I like doing that. I think it's fun. I also like fishing in real life, so That's one of the reasons that I enjoy the fishing and having somewhere to go fishing. When I do New Crest, I always give those guys, I go into the debug menu and I look for the rare pond, and I will put one down somewhere in New Crest so that my characters can go fishing and hopefully catch a salmon. And the reason I keep doing that, a salmon and a rainbow fish, I keep cutting myself off. I have to, so many things I have to. The reason for the salmon is that there's a menu item that calls for salmon, and I've never been able to make it. I'd like to be able to do that. So those are just a couple of the challenges that I've given myself. But as for this build, I liked the outcome, and I would not mind using it to do a playthrough game with, a family that I created. This family, no. This family can, they were horrible. He is supposed to be an athlete playing for one of their soccer leagues, but I've mentioned this before in previous videos that I'm trying to branch out and leave my comfort zone and do things I wouldn't normally do. But here's the reason why I don't do it. I chose for her things that I would never choose when I'm playing the game. I gave her gloomy, vegetarian, and gardening. She likes to be out. Well, I didn't give her likes the outdoors. I just gave her she wants to be a gardener. She enjoys gardening, and then I gave her the gardening aspiration. And then for the kids, he's goofy, she's happy, she's creative, he's active. But when the gameplay came up, the dad was the only one that was autonomous. And I have autonomous. I always check off autonomy so that they won't be that needy. But the other three were complete imbeciles. Over 90% of their need bars were in the critical red zone or yellow going orange. They wouldn't do a bloody thing unless you told them to. They have more than enough stuff here, and the kids' fun level was at the critical zone. They wouldn't go to the bathroom. They wouldn't take showers. The kids would refuse to go to sleep because of the dumb monsters under the bed. And I believe I gave them both adult beds, and yet this issue still comes up. I ended up reinstalling the MC Command Center. I haven't used it yet, but I'm hoping and praying that it works this time. I want kids when I play The Sims, but I don't have the patience for that. That is beyond annoying for me. And I rage quit. And I think I'm just going to kill these kids off, and it's just going to be young adult, young adult, young adult. Although I do like to add elders in my games. I think it's fun. But I want the kids to interact with the elders. I want, the grandparents with the kids, and I want grandparents to be babysitting kids. It's the kids that ruin this game for me. And it's so weird because they're adorable. I enjoy. It's so fun to have them, and yet that one thing ruins it all. It's annoying. But anyway, getting back to the fishing thing. Did I already? Oh, no. I won't know. Well, maybe I can tell you in another episode. I don't want to repeat myself. But I did like what I did here. And obviously, just by looking, that I'm not the best at designing. But I still liked this house. And I cannot believe that the 2 weeks vacation here is already up. It's Friday already. The kids go back to school on Monday. I hope there's jobs for me. I thought I had plenty of time to finish up this before, the holiday ended, but apparently not. Because there's 2 more houses here and a lot. And then I believe Acquisition Butte, the last neighborhood, only has 2 houses and no empty lot. It's just the land grabs and that other big house. But still, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. That's 6 more builds, which for me means 6 more days. And it's a little difficult for me to get into this when I am working, especially if I have a full day. If I work a full day, I will not. I come home, I watch some YouTube videos, I eat something, I watch while I'm eating, and then I go to bed because I'm wiped out. But we'll see what happens. It's not like I'm not going to do this. I'm just, the time limit crept up on me without realizing it. I love these vampire mirrors. They reflect everything except me. See, they have so much to do. I gave them so many things. The toys, the bubbles, the laptop. And they just couldn't figure it out. They wouldn't even eat. And her, when she had that vegan thing, oh my gosh, what a pain. Yes, 'cause this is meat. People who eat meat are horrible. She's very sad now that she had to eat this hot dog. Holy smoke. Yeah, well, guess what? Other than eating mac and cheese for the rest of the time that you're alive in this game, and garden salad, which, by the way, she couldn't eat until her garden grew, if any of it even came up in season. So I changed her out. I said, I mean, they were still stupid after that. They still couldn't do anything autonomously, but I got rid of all 3 of her personality traits. Can't quite remember. I gave her romantic, happy, gardening. Yeah. And she was still a ditz. Couldn't go pee, couldn't take a shower, couldn't eat, couldn't go to sleep. I had to tell her to go to sleep. And the kids. Well, aside from the nightmares. The little girl fell asleep in the bathtub. She wouldn't go to sleep in her own bed, but she fell asleep in the bathtub. Now, how can you not have a nightmare? Why does it depend where you're sleeping? It makes no sense. But then, there's quite a bit about this game that does not make sense. And yet, I still like to play it. My favorite is doing 2 young adults going out into the world and making something of themselves. It's something I was unable to do, so I live vicariously through my Sims characters. These are after images, and as I mentioned, I was not unhappy with this, but I still did this silly, well, I can't give them another kind of roof tile because it won't go with the neighborhood, and the neighborhood association members will frown on that. I don't know why I do that. It's so dumb. But I do. I'm just glad there's a pond back there. Oh, if I read this forum post correctly, the reason my save did not go into my library is because I didn't put it on the gallery. Anyway, that's the end. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.